Fucking hate it here. I have like a thing up here or something. Why is this not? There we go. Oh, I don't think you're ready for this. Also, why the fuck is it already 1:30? What the fuck have I done today? I fucking hate it here. God damn it. I don't really want to do it. It's like it got really late in the day because of some bullshit at work. And whatever. Look. Here's what we're gonna do. Tracking your calories. You know, at least once a day in public, I constantly hear people at a restaurant or out, like at work, doing something, where they're talking about, man, I really have to be more mindful of what I eat now because I just can't eat whatever I want. And, you know, I'm getting older and my metabolism's slowing down or whatever other fucking bullshit they want to say. No, you couldn't, first of all, you could never eat whatever you want. That was never a thing. It's your lifestyle has just changed. Your lifestyle is different. You may not think it's that much different, but really take a good hard look. Is your lifestyle different? Are you being as active as you used to be in this fantasy world where you could eat whatever the fuck you wanted and not gain a single pound? Because that's just not how science works at all. And I'm tired of hearing it. And people just don't seem to get it. It's like, your metabolism didn't slow down. The studies are out there. It is pretty fucking clear that from the time you're born until about 12 months old, so let's say a year, okay, babies' metabolisms are about 50% higher than the average adult metabolism, okay? So babies can kind of fucking eat whatever they want for the most part. They can eat titty milk until their little heart's desire, okay? It doesn't fucking matter. You're not gonna make your baby fucking fat from titty milk. That's just not how that's gonna work. From the time you are 1 year old until you are 20 years old, that baby metabolism is going to decrease year over year very slowly by about 3% a year on average. Could be a little less, could be a little more. Everybody's fucking different. At the end of the day, it doesn't fucking matter. Okay? Now, this 20-year-old metabolism that you now have, okay, is now your adult metabolism. This is pretty much going to stay exactly the same for the next 40 years. Okay? From the age of 20 to 60. Your metabolism really doesn't fucking change at all. So the only thing that is changing in anyone's lifestyle where they say, man, I've gained some weight, I just can't eat as much as I used to be able to because my metabolism's slowing. Your metabolism didn't slow down. You're just not as active as you used to be, and or a combination of you just eat garbage too much all the time. That's what it is. That's all it is. And that's all it's ever fucking been. It's like, I mean, I can think back when I used to think that same way. I'm like, man, I guess my metabolism isn't as bad anymore. But when I really take a look at it, it's like, no, my lifestyle changed drastically. Okay? I was at a desk job, sitting down all day. There were days where I would just eat an entire Pizza Hut pizza. I didn't do that when I was, 20 years old. The fuck? Like, as a teenager, sure, my metabolism was a little higher because I was a fucking teenager. I wasn't 20 years old yet. But it was near where my adult metabolism was, okay? But I was also very active. I was training gymnastics 4 hours a day for the most part. It's like, that's very demanding for energy needs, okay? When I stopped doing all of that stuff and got a fucking shitty desk job that was stressful as fuck, like I was 1, drinking all the time, okay? 2, eating out a lot. I didn't make a lunch and go, like when I was a mortgage broker, I did not make a lunch and bring it to work. I was constantly going out to eat, okay? Well, that's not that bad. How can going out all the time be bad to eat? Because you really have no idea how much you're eating when you're going out. People don't really, and I feel like it's gotten a little bit better now that restaurants, at least in most states, are required to have nutritional information at them. Look at the nutritional information in it. Ari and I went to Texas Roadhouse, okay? Our plan was to eat like assholes, okay? We didn't really eat like assholes, but it was like, he got a New York strip, okay? I got a ribeye. Mine's a little bit higher in fat, so mine is gonna have a little bit higher in calories. And then he got a baked potato, and I don't remember what my sides were. My sides were nothing crazy. I think I also got a baked potato and something else as sides, but it wasn't. That's a pretty normal weekend summer cookout meal, right? It's like, oh, we're gonna have some New York strip steak, some baked potatoes, and some, I don't know, macaroni salad. Fuck it. You're like, oh, we're having a pool cookout, whatever. Come eat. That right there, that meal is well over 1,000 calories. I don't give a fuck what you think the calories were. Like, the healthiest part of all of that is probably the baked potato, unless you smothered it when you go to this cookout and you smother it in butter and sour cream and cheese and what. Oh yeah, already got the cheese, the fries things covered in fucking cheese. Any of that made at home would have been a third of the calories. Yes and no. So you can get a little less calories on the steak. You know, I assume at Texas Roadhouse they're gonna fucking cook that whole thing just on a fuckload of butter. More than likely, they're not. You know, when you're cooking a steak at home in a pan, I'll still use butter, but I'm not gonna use nearly as much butter as the restaurant's going to. They're probably also putting oil on the griddle before they do it. If you're cooking it on a grill at home, yeah, way less calories. You're probably not using butter at all, or any type of oil. You just, but the you know, a 7-ounce New York steak is still going to be fairly high in calories. But then you go to, I don't know, take any, I don't know, a normal restaurant that's not a steakhouse, right? A steakhouse can be pretty consistent in terms of what you're going to get calorically. But you go to like, I don't know, BJ's Brewhouse, okay? BJ's Brewhouse. You have no fucking idea what they're using in most of the food that they're cooking, as well as half of the ingredients. And then you look at the calories on it, on whatever they're giving you. You're like, how the fuck is an ahi tuna salad going to be 800 calories? What in the fuck did they do to this salad to make it 800 calories? The majority of it is leafy greens and kale. So, and so if you're going out every day, all those calories are going to add up. Constantly. Well, I don't have time to cook at home. You do. You're just choosing not to. And even if you are going out and you don't want to do the cooking at home thing, you can be a little more conscious about the food choices. I'm not saying fast food is good for you, but, you know, it's all, like, depending on what you're getting at fast food, it's also not bad for you. So, you know, once you get to your adult level of metabolism, you really have to take a look at what has actually changed from the time you're 30 from when you were 20 years old. You're like, well, I'm eating the same. Maybe you are. Okay, sure. You're probably eating the same. So that means if you, let's just assume you haven't changed anything about the way you've been eating for the last 10 years, okay? But you're now 30 years old and you just don't understand it, and you just think, man, what the fuck has happened? I've gained, 15 pounds over the last 20 years, which that's not a terrible amount of weight to gain, by the way, over 10 years. 15 pounds is pretty fucking good. I mean, most people during the months of November and December will gain on average about 2 to 3 pounds that they will never fucking lose. Let that sink in. So as an adult, you've been going home for Thanksgiving and Christmas and all the Christmas parties and all those things, and you've just been eating more and more of high calorically dense foods that have now caused you to gain 2 to 3 pounds over these 2 months that you just never get rid of ever. So you're still working off Christmas 99. See? And people don't get that. They're like, well, it's fine. It's just Christmas. It's like, is it? Now multiply that 2 to 3 pounds over the course of 10 years. And from 30 to 40, now you're 20 to 30 pounds heavier than you were when you were 30, and you're still confused on what the fuck is happening. So it has nothing to do with your metabolism. Your metabolism didn't change unless you have some weird thyroid issue that comes to fruition. Normal people do not have this problem, okay? For the majority, 99.9% of adults, do not have a problem with their thyroid where, you know, they just can't do anything regardless of what they do. We're not talking about those people. You guys go see a fucking doctor. You're unhelpable. I don't know. You need medication. Something. But for everybody else, it is the lifestyle. So how do you fix it? Well, unfortunately, eating intuitively clearly doesn't work. You're unhelpful. I can't help these people. A doctor has to help those people. Okay? A doctor has to help the people with thyroid problems. Don't come to me for that. That's not my fucking... That's not for me. I can't prescribe you whatever the fuck you need to be prescribed to make it work properly. I don't know. But for everybody else, okay, eating intuitively hasn't helped you whatsoever. Eating intuitively is what got you here now, because over the course of 10, 20, 30 years, however old you may be, that whenever the last time you feel like you are not overweight or obese or whatever it was, or that you feel like wherever you're at now, where you feel like your nutrition and your weight is out of control, which is different for everybody. Some people don't really give a fuck about 20 pounds. Some people care about 10 pounds. Some people don't care until it's 100 pounds too late. You know? But wherever that point was, it's okay. Now we got to get back to that point. And it didn't happen overnight. It didn't happen over the course of a month. It didn't happen over the course of 6 months. A lot of these people, you're going to be looking at a year or more. A lot of people is 2 straight years of just eating in a caloric deficit to be able to get down to where they're in a weight where they're happy again. And unfortunately, there are way too many trendy things that are just, 1, not sustainable, 2, do not work in the allotted time frame that people are telling them it's going to work in, and 3, demonizing foods that don't need to be demonized at all. Carbs don't make you fat. Go fuck yourself, Joe Rogan. Carbs don't make you fat, you stupid fuck. It's not a thing, okay? Overindulgence of total caloric intake is what is making you fat. So, how do we fix it? You gotta track your calories. You gotta track your calories. I get the same answer from everybody. We're like, what are you doing? Well, I eat the same thing every day and it's not working. Okay, let's assume that's true. If it's not working and you are actually eating exactly the same thing every day and you're not losing weight, does anyone in the class want to tell me what that means? Yes, you in the back. Uh-huh, that's correct. Yes, it means you're still eating too much food. Unfortunately. Your body is pretty efficient. It knows when it needs the energy. It knows when it doesn't need the energy. It's like a car. I heard this analogy, but it wasn't that great of an analogy because cars can't store don't get bigger when they don't use up all of their fuel. So it would be like a car if the car was an organic mechanism that also could get bigger. You know, it's like, oh, I started out with this 2-door coupe and now I have a Hummer, and I want to get down to like a 4-door sedan. How do I get down to a 4-door sedan? Okay. Kill this metaphor. I know it was a terrible metaphor because he's like, well, you put fuel in the car and the car can only run on so much fuel. Like, yeah, but your body, you can put more fuel into your body than in a car. So this doesn't really work, right? And it's like, if you put more fuel into your body, you could put it like this. Okay. You are a car and your body is the car. The food you're putting in is fuel. Any leftover fuel at the end of the day now goes into like fuel cans that you now stick into your car. Okay? And you keep putting fuel in your car. And he's like, even though fuel's, you can't put any more fuel in, you're just putting more in the gas cans and throwing them inside the fucking car. And this car is special, and the more gas cans you put into it, the more expanded your car becomes until it no longer fits in one lane of the road. Okay? Because if you're not using that fuel, until you start using all of the fuel that you've now stacked up into this car, your car is going to take up more lanes than one. That's just how that works. Okay? You ever sit next to a huge person on a plane? I'm sure they don't enjoy it. You definitely don't enjoy it. It's not a fun time. Okay? So the more fuel that you burn, one, the bigger you are, just like the more fuel you're going to need. So it's like everybody's different. So everyone's like, oh, well, women have less metabolisms than, have a smaller metabolism than men. No. Also, fucking not true. Metabolisms, everyone is different and has a different metabolism based upon their genetics, but there is no difference in female metabolism than there is in male metabolism. It is all person dependent. And unfortunately, women on average tend to be smaller than men. Therefore, they require less energy to keep them alive. Yeah, if the height and weight are the same for a woman and a man, and they have a similar genetic metabolism, their intake for the day to keep them the same weight is going to be the fucking same. I didn't write the rules. That's just how it is. I don't know. But just like myself, I could have someone exactly my height and my weight, and I could have either a lower or a higher metabolism than that person because it is genetic. You know, it's not a set in stone thing where everybody has the, rewrite your genetics. It's not a set in stone thing. So, unfortunately, women kind of tend to get the short end of the stick on this one because, and I would say in general, women tend to be more mindful of their weight for obvious social reasons, right? So, you know, if someone who is 5'6", if a woman comes and says, I want to lose weight, I'm 5'6", 200 pounds, okay, that's fine. Just understand this isn't gonna take 12 weeks. It's not gonna take 16 weeks. It's probably gonna take the better part of a year. It just will. And if they're already used to eating, I don't know, someone, they're probably 5'6", 200 pounds, they probably have their maintenance level of calories is probably somewhere around 1900 to, on a high end, I would say like 2000 probably. So that's pretty bad, because if they keep gaining weight, that means they're eating well over 2000 calories a day and still gaining weight at their current weight, right? So, what's a metabolism? It's just like this magic thing where your body says, I'm going to take food and I'm going to break it down and use it for energy. And if there's too much of it, I'm going to let your body just store it as fat stores. Sometimes it breaks it down and it breaks the protein down and says, I'm going to use this to build muscle. But that really only works if you're training for, you know, muscle growth. Probably shouldn't eat it all. Don't eat it all. Don't. Yeah. Or you can be, yeah. So, you know, some women have a fairly high metabolism. Some women have a fairly low metabolism, just like men, like Ari here. Almost 6 foot, 200 pounds. The man can't lose weight unless he's damn near starving himself with less than 2,000 calories. His metabolism just isn't good. It's not great. Then you got myself. I can be in a pretty hefty deficit and be cutting and be fairly comfortable eating 2,200 calories. And you got Cole Runnings, guys, you know, who's a little taller than me and is cutting, getting shredded as fuck at 2,800 calories. Yeah. Like everybody is different. So you can't just take some random guy, including myself, on the internet and be like, oh, you should just eat this. It's like, there is a very simple method to this. Find out around what your BMR is, your basal metabolic rate. Go to tdeecalculator.com. It's free. Type in your fucking info, and then just put sedentary, because everyone likes to over exaggerate how much they fucking do in the first place. And just put sedentary, and that number that pops out, that's gonna get you in the ballpark of what you should be eating every day to stay your current weight. Someone dying upstairs? I don't know what's happening. Right? So for, I don't know, let's take a 30-year-old female who is 200 pounds and 5'6", and is, this body fat doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter for the body fat. It will later. So the more muscle mass you have on you, the more energy your body requires anyway, so that is a thing. You know, if I was my current body weight and didn't ever lift weights, so I still have only, I don't know, 120 pounds of lean body mass on me, I would require way less calories than my current same body weight with, you know, 160 pounds of lean body mass on me. That does matter. But so let's, I don't know, let's just say 35% body fat. Yeah, there you go. 200-pound female. In between, yeah, what did I say? In between 1,900 and 2,000 calories a day. Yeah. So you just have to eat less than this. Start with this. Fuck it. Start with this number. Round it off. 1950. Round it up. I don't give a fuck. Start it off. Eat those calories. Track them. If it goes in your mouth, it goes in a tracking app or an Excel spreadsheet. Whatever the fuck makes it easier for you to track your fucking calories, just put it in the app. There's tons of free ones. MyFitnessPal is free. It's pretty heavy on the ad, so I don't like that. But there are a ton of free just calorie and macro tracking apps. Well, what's a macro? Well, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter right now, okay? You just got to get into the habit of anytime you eat something, you put it in the app so you know. Now, this can become problematic if you're just, oh, I ate this thing, and I tracked it, and it says, okay, well, did you look at the serving size? No. So you ate the whole box? Yeah. Well, the whole box was 4.5 servings. Oh. Okay. So go back into your app and change it to 4.5 servings. Oh my God, your calories are now, you know, I don't know, 500 more than what you thought they were, because you didn't pay attention to the serving size. I don't know if anybody has tried to make a serving size of cereal, but it's not a lot of cereal. 42 grams of Honey Nut Cheerios is not a lot of Cheerios. Okay? So one, get an app. I don't care what it is. It's free, paid. I don't give a fuck. Get an app that can easily track your calories. 2, get a food scale. That is now your best friend. Those two things are now your best friend. Okay? Just try for a whole week. Anything that you put in your mouth, you weigh it, you put it in the app, you type it in, you do the thing. And make sure it's the same number. So we're pretending we're going to try to eat no more than 1,972 calories. Okay? At the end of that week, track your weight every day. It doesn't matter if the scale goes up and down every day on your weight. That's pretty normal. It's, you know, you got water weight, poops, you know, all things. Weigh yourself at the same time every day. Usually the best time to do it right after you wake up and go to the bathroom. Before you eat anything, weigh yourself. Put that in the app, because every tracking app, as far as I know, also has a thing to track your weight. So then you can look at the end of that week and say, okay, this week I did pretty good. There were a couple days where I went like 20, 30 calories over. Some days I was 10 under. That's fine. You don't want triple digit calories over in a day. Cheat code, piss, shit, and cum beforehand. You'll lose weight. Yeah. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. At the end of the week, did you lose weight on average? Did you stay the same weight on average? Unsure? Do the same thing again for another week. And then just make a little line graph. If the app doesn't have one for you that makes a line graph, a lot of them do. Just make a little line graph. Do you see a downward trend in your weight? Is the line going downwards? I guess for you guys, this would be the line because time is going this way. Time is going this way. Is the line going downward or is it going up? If it's going up, that's a problem. You need to lower the number of calories you are eating for the following week every day. Don't lower them every single day. Just pick a new number, 100 to 150 calories less than the previous week. Pick that number and keep going. Okay? Is it staying the same? Same deal. If it's staying the same and the line isn't really on average moving, you're like, well, I guess I maybe lost like 1/10 of a pound. Okay, you didn't lose any weight. It's 1/10 of a pound. That means nothing. Okay? Lower your calories. If your calories are, or if your weight is going down in a downward trend, you don't have to do anything. Just keep eating that until you start to see the downward trend begin to plateau out and then lower them again. And you keep doing this over and over and over and over again until you get back to whatever weight you want. Now, there is a caveat to this. Eventually, you can't lower calories anymore for safety reasons and for just general like sustainability purposes, right? Like if you are like if you've gotten it down to the point where, you know, for our hypothetical woman here, she's gotten her weight down to the point where now her calories to lose weight, she needs to be eating 1,200, and which I don't even know what that weight would be. Let's say she's 150 pounds now. Nope, that's still, she'd have to be really tiny. Probably anorexic at this point. Yeah. Usually you don't get into these problems until you're in like some kind of contest prep, which that's not going to be for everybody, obviously. Which is like, if I see somebody and they're not 4'10", 80 pounds, and they tell me they're eating 900 calories, what are you doing? Even this 4'10", 90 pound person should be eating more than 900 calories. Okay, I don't even know how to get. How small do you have to be? 4'10", and 20% body fat is pretty healthy, so we'll leave it at there. 80 pounds, 4'10". Yeah, that's even too less. A 4'10", 80 pound woman, 30 years old, that is 20% body fat, or roughly, should be eating 1,200 calories to maintain 80 pounds. Okay, that's. Please don't do this. You don't need to literally starve yourself to lose weight. That's small deficits, guys. Like, if you want to be in an insane, like, realistically, whatever your current body weight is, if you are very overweight and obese, you can get away with doing a higher percentage. But for the most part, 0.5% to up to, for the really obese people, 2%, which is 2% would be pretty extreme if you are even for someone who is obese. That's going to be the limit of weight you should be losing per week for your given body weight. So if you weigh 350 pounds, I forgot I have to do this by fucking. If you weigh 350 pounds, you could probably get away with losing 7 pounds a week for several weeks. But the lighter you keep getting, the lighter this number gets, and eventually you can't really sustain a 2% loss per week. A good rate that's going to be pretty sustainable for most people for the long term, and by long term I mean 6+ months up to indefinitely until you lose your weight, is going to be in the range of 1% at most. And because if you're, we'll go back to our woman who is 200 pounds. Okay. Damn it. Stop pressing buttons. 200 pounds. That's losing 2 pounds a week. That's a pretty sustainable amount of weight loss per week. And as she gets lighter, the weight will, like, that number will go lower and lower, right? Because if she's only 150 pounds, 1% is only 1.5 pounds a week. She still has a lot of fat to lose, so she's got a long ways to go. She's probably like a good weight, probably around 130 pounds, right? Where she probably feels good about herself. So sustainability. It's like, don't kill yourself. You still need to track. Tracking is important. But it's like, if you are tracking your calories and doing all of this from weighing your food, typing it into your application or whatever method you want to use to track your food accurately, it is going to be, and I say it all the time, it's a hack. It's going to be very easy for you to just be like, oh my God, why didn't I lose weight this week? Well, let's look. Did I go over all my calories this week? No, I didn't. I did a great job. There was only one day and I went over 50 calories. Okay, that 50 calories doesn't really matter, okay, that much. But if there's several days where you went 200 calories over, you're like, oh my God, well, the whole week you were only going to end up being in a deficit, like, let's see, if you're in a 150 calorie deficit per day, which is pretty small, you're only in 1,000 calorie deficit for the week. And if 3 of those days you went over on calories by 200, that's 600 calories being removed from that deficit. The whole week you're only in a 450 calorie deficit. I wouldn't expect to see very much more than like not even a quarter pound lost. So it's very easy to be like, okay, next time we'll leave it at this weight. I don't need to lower my calories. I just need to be a little more mindful. And usually you'll see that on a weekend. The person went out and they did something, like, shit, they're still in the deficit. They didn't lose progress, right? Even if they were ahead and they gained a pound and they somehow like went off the handle for some reason. But keeping very small deficits is going to make it so you're not going off the handle because you're doing something that is sustainable for the long term. Tracking my food was the only easy way for me to lose 100 pounds. Right. And I can tell you right now, anybody that has gone through a similar journey will tell you the same thing. The only way I was able to do this was by tracking my food and doing it accurately and just getting into this habit. Like, your lifestyle changed to get you up to some amount of weight that you were unhappy with. Now you have to change your lifestyle again by doing these other things to get you back the other direction. And it's not going to happen overnight. And a lot of people don't want to do don't want to do the hardest part of it all, which actually is the easiest part of it all, which is just tracking your fucking calories. It's really not that hard. Especially like in the 90s, it was probably a pain in the ass because you had to have fucking sheets and Excels and type in all your stuff and do the stuff. Now you just have applications doing everything for you. Especially when it's on your phone. Like, well, I don't have time to track. Bullshit. Search it on your phone. You don't even have to scan it. You can just type it and be like, okay, yeah, this is what I ate. I had this much of it. Done. I legit just eyeball and put it in a notepad on my phone. If I'm not trending one way or the other based on my goal, I eat a little more or less. Shit's so hard. Exactly. I mean, that's what I mean. It goes the same with these people that say, well, I eat the same thing every day. Do you actually, though? Well, yeah, I eat a chicken breast with some salad and a little bit of vinaigrette. Okay, do you weigh the chicken? No. Do you weigh out the vinaigrette? No. Okay, well, I can lay out 4 chicken breasts, and every one of them is going to weigh completely different than the other one. There might be 1 or 2 that are fairly close in size, but that all matters, right? Especially when you're trying to lose weight. It matters. So it's like, sure, you could be eating the same thing every day, and that's kind of a terrible example, because if you were eating chicken and salad every day, even if the one chicken breast was 50 grams bigger than the other chicken breast, it's not going to matter realistically that much. But if you aren't seeing a weight shift in your weight, you're either lying about eating the same shit every day, or you need to eat less of that same shit every day. Like, yeah, I didn't realize it's the same thing. It's like go weigh out cereal. Go weigh out some Honey Nut Cheerios that one serving's 42 grams. And do it the way you think a serving is before you weigh it. And then be like, okay, I think this is a serving. And then go actually weigh out a serving and do the same thing with peanut butter. Peanut butter is the killer. Anytime. So it's like, well, I just had a peanut butter jelly sandwich for lunch. Oh, how much peanut butter do you have on it? I don't know, like a serving of peanut butter? Go get a spoon and show me what a serving of peanut butter is. Most people get like 3 to 4 servings out of that fucking jar in a spoonful. 32 grams of peanut butter is nothing, dude. It is nothing. Show me a serving. Go show me a serving. You think that's a serving? Okay, go weigh it. It's easily triple, if not more, than what they thought the serving was. 32 grams of peanut butter is nothing. Absolutely nothing in the amount of peanut butter. And it was like, well, I don't have a food scale. Okay. Do you have measuring spoons? Yeah. Okay. So take that one spoon that you just thought was a serving, put it on the counter now, or put it on, scrape it off onto a plate and do a nice little ball of peanut butter or whatever the fuck, Now go take your tablespoon, dip it in the peanut butter, make sure it's flat. Okay, it can't be fucking overfilling the tablespoon thing. That's not how the fucking measuring spoons work. Put it on the plate, do another one, put it on the plate. Tell me which one's bigger. I can tell you right now, the one you scooped out with a fucking spoon, eyeballing it, was way bigger than the 2 tablespoons that you just put on that plate. My cheat is that I cut more than I need to, but don't track sauces, even though I do no sugar, etc. Working out is extra burnt cows. Yeah, the not tracking sauces thing can get people into trouble though, like a lot of trouble, because some people, a lot of people forget that, they'll cook something and they use a little bit of olive oil, even though it legitimately was a little bit, maybe 5 grams. That's fat, and it wouldn't be that big of a deal if it wasn't for the fact that fats are over 2 times the caloric amount per gram than a carb and a protein. So that becomes, some people can get in a lot of hot water with that one. Like, well, what are you cooking your chicken with? Well, it's like olive oil. Like, well, fucking how much? That's not free calories. It's like the fiber thing, right? Everyone says, well, fiber, there's no caloric amount to fiber. That's not technically true. They're not really free calories, right? So it's like carb fiber wraps. I'm a big fan of them. Mainly just for fiber, because I don't eat a lot of vegetables, because I just don't give a fuck about, I like vegetables, but I just couldn't care less to cook them half the time, unless it's for dinner. So a lot of times for lunch, I'll just have a carb, just to get fiber in for the day. I'll just have a carb balance wrap that is mainly just fiber, but they're not free calories. Sure, that you're not. I mean, there are various bacteria in your gut that supposedly can break down some of that fiber to use as energy, and I think the FDA has claimed, we're just gonna call fiber we're just gonna say the fiber on average is 1.5 calories per gram of fiber, which is not a lot, but if you're eating, some of those carb balance wraps are 30 grams of fiber in one thing. That's 45 calories according to the FDA. Is that really the number? No, probably not. It's probably less. But it's, they're not really free, and they say you don't have to claim those calories on their nutritional information. But fiber does technically have calories. I wouldn't worry too much about it, but don't think that you can just sit there and eat bowls and bowls of fibered vegetables and get no calories, because vegetables in general do have calories anyway, but it's not you can't really claim that fiber is free calories. Yeah, ranch dressing, 140 calories per serving. Then don't. Exactly. Who makes them? Mission Tortillas makes them. They have two different sizes. They have like a large size that's about 28 grams of fiber per, and then they have the smaller size that are like fajita size, and those are 17 grams of fiber per. So Mission Tortillas are those ones. What else? But tracking, people, I've known a lot of people that start tracking and then they just stop. They're like, eh. Is it annoying? Yes. Will you understand food a whole hell of a lot better if you start tracking? Yeah. If you just make it a part of your life. You made getting fat a part of your life. You just did. It was easy, because all you had to do was fucking eat and not track shit and not give a fuck. But now you're like, fuck, I don't want to be this anymore. How do I change? Well, the lifestyle change is what you have to do. And part of that lifestyle change is this right here. It just is. Eventually, you don't really have to do it anymore. Like, I'm pretty confident, based upon my current body composition and weight, I could eat, quote unquote, intuitively and just maintain this forever. I'm not going to grow. I'm not going to lose weight. Like, there will be times where I'll probably lose 1 or 2 pounds, and then I'll gain those 1 or 2 pounds back over time. But, based upon my own knowledge of how I intuitively eat, my weight's not going to get out of control. It'll probably stay about the same and teeter between like 3 to 4 pounds. But, I'm not going to be growing muscle mass, which is like the whole reason I'm doing this anyway. I'm not going to be getting shredded, because it's just not like my current calorie requirements. I kind of have to be mindful of actually eating food, especially on the weekends. I have a big problem with the end of the day is coming, and I'm like, fuck, I still need like 900 more calories. This is a problem. So it's, and a lot of people will say, well, that's a good problem to have. It's like, yes and no. It's like, I can't just eat whatever for those 900 calories. Usually there's some other macro requirements in there that I need. But it's, if I were to just eat intuitively, as most people do, I wouldn't really have an issue. I eat till I hurt, but can't seem to gain weight. Yeah. You're tracking your intake? No, exactly. It's like, okay, so you're not eating enough. It's the same with going the other way. When people want to gain muscle mass and they're working out all the time and they're like, all I do is eat and eat and eat and eat and eat and eat and eat. Okay, I used to do that same thing and just eat a bunch of meals every day because I thought that's what you had to do to gain weight, and I wasn't seeing great progress. It wasn't until I said, you know what, fuck it. I keep seeing people and they say track your calories. I'm gonna fucking just track my calories. I'm gonna buy a fucking scale. I'm gonna do the things. I'm just gonna fucking track my calories. And wouldn't you know it, I realized, holy shit, if I had been doing this from day one, I could have saved myself a whole hell of a lot of time. Egg whites and ground turkey have been my cheat meal ingredients last cut. So versatile, so good. Yeah, you could even do, it's expensive, but lean beef. It's like 96.4 lean beef. You get a little bit of healthy fat in there. It's still, it doesn't taste as good in terms of just like the raw taste of the beef, because You know, fat tastes delicious. So don't waste foods, just eat less of it. Exactly. Never been a big red meat guy. Well, there you go. People think it's a huge inconvenience to track. That's like the wildest thing to me. Like, how? It's not. It's not like every time you eat, you have to sit inside this machine and like sit there and like type up on a computer and write a fucking essay of every meal you ate. It's like, dude, this shit takes me less than 20 seconds to track a meal in my phone. It's nuts. The issue is now you have to get rid of all your food and buy new shit. If you just track, you can still eat your... Yeah, like... You don't have to get rid... Yeah, I don't know why you would have to get rid of your food. Well, that's the other part. It's like, why are people demonizing foods? Why do people still think that carbs are the culprit of people getting fat? They're not. I mean, sure. If you go to Olive Garden, yeah, carbs are going to be the culprit there. But that's just because you're at Olive Garden, and when you're here, you're family, and they just give you all the food you want, you know, endless soup and pasta, salad, breadsticks. But it's serving size is an issue. I mean, last night we went to a place, and my sister-in-law got some tortellini with some like steak and tortellini. The dish came out. It was 3 ounces of steak, which is fine. She's not a very large individual. She's very tiny, so she doesn't eat a lot anyway. But then, you know, the amount of tortellini they gave her was easily, like, probably 4 servings of tortellini, and she didn't. You know, she barely ate any of the tortellini because there was so much of it. It's like, why do we as Americans need to have our serving sizes the size of fucking Texas? I don't know if anybody's been to Europe, but Americans come back from Europe and they are upset at the serving sizes at restaurants in Europe. I don't know why, because they're probably giving you the normal amount of food you should be getting. I went to America and lost weight. Make that make sense, Batman. You didn't have enough money to purchase the foods. I don't know. I can't answer that one for you. But I mean, America historically has much larger portion sizes than everywhere else. Yeah, you have an actual problem? I don't know. Sugar is bad. Gives you cancer and anal warts. Exactly. Sugar's not bad. Like, or the fake sugar is also bad. And it gives you anal warts. And like, which one is it? It's like, it seems weird to me that I will eat fake sugar substitutes in anything all day, every day. Soda, like in soda, 0-calorie soda, all that shit. Oh, you're gonna get cancer. At what point? When am I supposed to get cancer? 10 years?
To the limit and beyond.
15 years? Still haven't gotten cancer yet. I know people that have been drinking diet soda for the last 25 fucking years and they don't have fucking cancer. So please. And they didn't gain weight. They didn't binge eat. The studies on this are out now, especially the longer term studies. Like the fake sugar substitutes aren't causing people to binge eat at all. Thanks for the sub, Cook. That's what I always tell them when they want to come with me. You gave me warts, and I say, nah, bitch, you ate that cookie. You know what's giving people warts? Crumble cookie. One cookie is 4 servings. And one serving is 450 calories on average. Sometimes they're as high as, I've seen them as high as almost 600 calories per crumble. Well, crumble is disgusting, so fuck that. I mean, come on, they're pretty goddamn good cookies. Let's not pretend that they're not delicious. But, you know, I don't recommend eating them very often, you know? It's like, well, what happens? And it's, look, and you get this one too. Well, I don't understand. Something must be wrong because I see people that, you know, that work out and they'll do like 10,000 calories in a day as a challenge. Why are they not gaining a bunch of weight? It's like, okay, let's say 3,500 calories is a pound roughly. Okay. So 2 of those, that's 7,000. Let's say your caloric needs are 3,000 pounds to maintain 3,000 calories to maintain your weight. So you're 5'9", a fucking jacked, shredded 200 pounds. The fuck? 200 pounds. Okay? By eating 10,000 calories, you're not going to gain those 2 pounds. That's just not how your body has a limit on energy storage, just as it has a limit on protein synthesis. Your body just says, well, this I can't store anymore. I'm just going to shit the rest of this out. Yeah, I'm not working right now. I'm doing a podcast on my lunch hour. Thanks.
I got your bread.
I don't want this bread. Bread makes you fat.
You know, friendly. It's not
Right.
friendly.
Okay.
Friendly bread.
This bread makes you fat. Actually, this bread is goated, dude. This bread is 40 calories per serving. And it's pretty goddamn good bread. No, it was a joke. No, I was kidding. I don't even understand this bread. It's wild. It's pretty damn good bread. It's anybody that's curious and likes good tasting bread. Old time 647 Italian bread. Italian, I don't know. It's like normal white bread. Pretty good. It's very lightweight. It's not airy though. And it's only 40 calories per serving. So if you like sandwiches, I like sandwiches. With M. Oh, you're getting an M. That's fine. Cool. Hell yeah, dude. Track this, dude. Ready? Track this bread right now, bro. Old time, 67 Italian bread, 1 slice, add, log, done. Oh my god, it was so inconvenient. I didn't have time to track. Stop making excuses. Yeah, so, but back to the 10,000 calorie thing. If you have one day, 1 or 2 days in the month where you went over in calories, so it's like one weekend you did a thing, you're like, fuck man, I just ate like 4,000 calories a day. Look, that shit happens. Don't worry about it. It's one day. And let's say 2 weeks later, you do the same thing. It's one day. Don't worry about it. Now, if you did that once a week, that's a problem, right? That's where people get into trouble because they spend all weekday, all the first 5 days of the week, eating healthy and staying on their macro targets and their calorie targets, if you have macro targets, or staying on their calorie targets. And then Friday night comes around, like, let's go out. And they have like 4 beers. And beer's pretty heavy on the calories. So are cocktails. Okay? And then they realize, oh my god, I had, 700 calories just in beer. And then, they had a bunch of pizza because they wanted the drunk munchies that night. And the next thing you know, it's like Friday's calories went from being in a deficit to being in a 2,000 calorie surplus. And they're like, fuck. Sara Lee is good too. That's another good one. But the shit is easy. It is not difficult. Did I miss anything here? What did I miss? So stop making excuses. Because it's the same thing. Everyone has time to track calories. We all have a computer in our fucking fingertips as our phone. You can track. Takes no time. It's fine. Yeah. Yep. Nope. I think I covered it all. Questions? I'm gonna open it up to the class. It's 2:30 and I gotta eat soon. I've been eating sourdough like a fiend. I like a good sourdough. It's really bright. What would you do if I was Lou right now? Well, yeah, I saw that. And I saw that it lowered him again. I would keep denying the app, telling you to, if you are seeing a downward trend in weight, there's no point in change. And I think it might be something to do with his target date. I do think it might have something to do with that. So I would keep denying the changes. And as long as he is continuing to lose, if he's happy with the rate at which he is losing, I wouldn't change it. But if he wants to lose less and at a slower rate, his target date is going to change. But he could eat more. $289, 5'9", 90 years old. Probably wanting him to lose 4 to 5, which yeah, that's probably pushing him in the range of like that in the upwards extreme numbers of like 2% of weight loss per week. So yeah, that's why this morning I saw the numbers and I said, no, deny that shit. Do not change your calories. There's no point. 1% is pretty reasonable. Yeah. That's 1% is going to be the upper level of sustainability in terms of weight loss over time, especially if you have to do it a long time. It's not that bad, right? Your body will adapt, and it's like if it's used to just stuffing itself with food, yeah, it's going to take a minute to adapt, but your body will adapt. Teach me the way, sensei. And like women, unfortunately, and this really does suck for women who are up in that 200-pound range and they want to get down to like 140, 130. It's like, look, you're used to maintaining your weight and gaining a little bit on 2,000 calories a day. Once you get down to your weight, you don't get to really eat that anymore. You don't get to eat, you get to eat a little more than what your loss was, right? You don't, if you got down to 135 pounds and you were eating, I don't know, 1,400 calories, it'll probably let your weight at now, it can probably be fine at like 15, in between 1,600 calories. And it's a little more than you are losing weight on. But unfortunately, you are a woman, so you don't get to eat as much because you are smaller on average than men are on average. Now, if you are a woman who is 6 foot tall, you just get to eat like a regular guy. So, all you tall ladies, you lucky. You lucky. How long is too long to be in a deficit? I don't think it exists until you're getting to a body fat level that is unhealthy. So too long would be you're nearing, you're allowing your body to go catabolic, which at some point everyone will go catabolic. Because there's just nothing left to take from fat stores. But most people are never going to get to that point. So, yeah, there's really no such thing as, if you're just trying to get to a healthy body fat percentage and you're just trying to lose weight for that sole purpose, to be in a normal, healthy range between, 14 and 20%. There's no such thing as too long of a deficit. If you want to only lose a half a pound to a pound a week, however fucking long that takes to lose as much weight as you have to lose is what it's going to take. Yeah. Yeah. It's too once you get so low that you go catabolic because you have no more fat stores left, that's a problem. All right, I have to pee. Get the fuck out of here. I'm sure this was super informative. Probably not. There's a lot of weird tangents that I went off on. But yeah. Yeah. Now I'm gonna go cook food and I don't know what I'm gonna eat for lunch. Probably steak and potatoes, because I have potatoes and I have some steak, but why not? Fuck it. Maybe I'll just eat my protein ice cream I made. Hell yeah. Creamies, bitches. Is it impossible to put on muscle in a deficit? Not really. I mean, there does come a point where, yeah, it's not going to be possible. But there are some extenuating circumstances on that. I would say the first 6 weeks of a very light deficit you're probably still gaining stuff, but and if you're new in the gym, it's body recomps are effective, but they really only work for people that are new in the gym. It's not effective after your first, debatably, like your first year in the gym. Probably push to year 2, but you know. And the only other way you can gain muscle on a deficit is if you're on steroids, because there are certain compounds whose sole purpose is to stop muscle wasting. So if you are in a very light deficit, it's going to have some anabolic effects on protein synthesis while you're in a deficit to keep you from losing muscle mass. Yeah. Undertrained or enhanced, yeah. Yeah, 2 opportunities, yeah. But I would say within the first 6, anyone within the first 6 weeks, you're not going to gain a lot. Even if you're a seasoned lifter, you're not going to gain a lot of muscle, but you're not going to see, your body is still using protein synthesis in a way that is effective for growth probably in the first 6 weeks. But after that, it's kind of done. It's like, I mean, I can see strength increases and PRs as far as 6, maybe push it to 8 weeks within a deficit, but after that, it's over. Yeah. It's not explicit, but undertrained is kind of like being a beginner again. Muscle memory kicks in and you'll rebound, get that newbie gains, and then that's it, yeah. But a lot of people also put way too much weight on how much, oh my god, I'm gonna lose muscle, especially for those in the gym trying to gain muscle, and they're like, well, I'm gonna lose all my muscle when I cut. Well, if you are in a sustainable cut, that should never be a problem. You should never be in a big enough deficit where your body's gonna go catabolic anyway. It's like everyone wants to get, it's like, oh, I'm gonna stop bulking in April and get beach ready by June. No, dude, you should have started in fucking probably December. It's I fucking hate it here. I'm out of here. I'm gonna get in trouble. I want to quit my job. Everyone pay me money so I can quit my job. I am. So hungry. Oh, yeah, well. That's your choice, Lou. Eventually it'll just adjust your target. I solely believe it's based upon this target date you gave the app. Because I'm sure you can lose weight with far less of a deficit. I mean, what is it, 1.2 kg? I mean, that's significant. It's like a significant amount. Let him do what the app says. It's working. I mean, it is working. That's what I just said. Just deny it. He's losing weight fine right now at the thing it is. There's no point in changing it. Why? It's like he's not gonna make it in time. Who cares? Yeah. So, yeah. So take that information for what it is. You know, maybe it wasn't very motivating, but it really isn't that fucking hard, guys. It really isn't. People just make excuses for themselves. It's not your metabolism. It didn't change. You don't have a thyroid problem. You're just not as active anymore, or you eat out way more than you thought you did. So, is what it is, you know? You don't have to do a new program goal. I would just the more times you just tell it no, it doesn't care. It's just like, okay. What's undertrained fall into? Most people that half-ass the gym and they're just going to the gym to go to the gym. That would call that undertrained. You know? They're not really on a program. They just kind of go in there and move some weight around for the fun of it. No. Yeah. Injury, time off. Yeah. Significant time off, like 6 months or more. I mean, I would classify the people that go in the gym, no program, and they're just kind of working out. They don't really know what they're doing, but they've been doing it for 3 years. They're not... I would classify them also as undertrained. I am diet. Yeah. But anyway, no bullshit, no excuse to get it done. Select the day's dick, all that bullshit. See you guys tomorrow for a push day, I guess. Fuck. Push day tomorrow. Get fucked, me.